Today we have so much to go over. I'm going to be showing you the location of the secret loading screen star for this week's challenges, as well as a bunch of secret changes that you definitely want to know that came out in today's update. And I'm talking about like a ton of map changes, like seriously a bunch. A change to a building in Tilted Towers, a change to somewhere near Paradise Palms, but also stuff like how traps were changed in a way, which you definitely need to know about. So yeah guys, overall it's going to be a very fun video. And speaking of which, if you guys want to help support me, be sure to use code TheLlamaSir in the item shop. It helps out a ton. And also shout out to these people on screen for using my code and tweeting me a picture of them using my code. I really do appreciate it. But you know what, for next video, if you want your name to show up on the video, comment down below if you're using my code and I'll choose some people's names to put in a video for tomorrow. So yeah guys, but on top of that, be sure to hit that like button down below if you are hyped for this update. Like seriously, the floor is lava, the new poison trap. Hit that like button down below because there are so many amazing things. And you know what guys, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into it with the stuff we have to go over for today's video. I want to start off with a couple of quick changes. Don't worry, we'll get right into the secret loading screen star location as well, but these were pretty important that I wanted to start off with them because I think you guys should know about them. And they are like seriously interesting. Like let's just start off with a map change that is super interesting, and that is another change to Snobby Shores, which I still have no idea why this is changing or what it means, so we're definitely going to have to talk about it a little bit. So basically, if you remember, over towards Snobby Shores obviously, but also the Viking village, obviously there's been some things going on between them. Now we don't exactly know what they are, but we do know that the Viking village is seemingly taking over Snobby Shores. As you remember, in the previous big update, I think 8.10, they took over this area on the left, this house on the left, turned it into like a Viking type village over there. But now they've done the same to the house next to it. As you can see, it has been converted into you know, Viking village type place. I don't know exactly what else to call it, but as you can see, yeah, it's definitely been taken over. They've even like built onto the house. They've got like a place coming out the side. There's also one like up on the top floor, like the very top, actually the roof of it. And then, you know, you've got all of the stuff around it. They've broken through the walls a bit. There's a pier type thing going off the back. I don't know if that's what you'd call it, but there's also like a fence going around the entire thing. So yeah, just going over this again, what exactly is the purpose of this? Nobody really knows, but I find it interesting that they're taking over Snobby Shores like one house at a time. So maybe the third house over is going to be the next one to be taken over. Maybe this doesn't have anything big to do with the story. Maybe it's just something funny that they added in. But either way, I wanted to show that to you guys because I do find it pretty interesting overall. Alright guys, but for this next one here, I wanted to go into game to show it to you because it is actually the one that has to do with Tilted Towers, which is always a fun thing to talk about. There's some interesting little things that I'm pretty sure are like brand new, so I wanted to go into game to actually like, you know, talk about them and show them to you specifically each one. And also bonus change, as you can see here in the creative lobby, you can now go to the main island. Now, unfortunately, I don't believe you can actually build on the main island, which, yeah, it does make me a little bit sad. But let's go into, I think Polar Peak might be the closest one to Tilted, technically. Maybe Dusty Divot too. Not really that big of a deal. But yeah, as we go over here, as you can see, and you probably know what I'm talking about, the building that has changed is that one in the middle. The building that is always changing, the one that's getting built up. But again, they've added some interesting things to this that you definitely want to see. Like one of them even has to do with Kevin the Cube, our old buddy. So yeah, let's head on over there and land right at the front. So as we go into here, as you can see, things are a little bit more finished than last time. And I think if you go into here, which is pretty funny, it says no sweat insurance, which is like playing off of the, you know, soccer skins, I guess, or something like that. It's joking about it a bit. I find that pretty funny. Oh, and also in case you were a little bit confused what skin it was talking about, there's a soccer ball on the ground. But then on top of that, you go over here and you can see that, well, you know, Kevin the Cube back there, and also Rocket from that season, which you may remember, also meteors. And then the volcano over here. All of this stuff together actually makes a little bit of sense as to why it's here. It seems a little bit random, but if you remember, I'm pretty sure all of these things have destroyed this building right here. So that's why they changed it into the no sweat insurance building or something like that, because this building gets destroyed like all the time. So that's why they're, you know, at least that's most likely what they're referencing with all of that stuff. But if you go up here, you know, you can explore it a little bit. There's some buildings that are still maybe going to be added to, or not buildings, but like rooms. There's some offices, nothing too crazy right there. Oh, and here we got the new poison trap as well. Boom, there you go. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Go up here. Yeah, there's a lot more finished up here too. There's an interesting meeting going on. I mean, this guy's on a box too, so he's like a little bit taller, but a little teddy bear meeting, I guess. But then I think we forgot to check out the basement, so let's go ahead and go down there real quick, see if anything crazy has changed. Okay, yeah, there's a bunch more cars here, so it's a little bit more decent for farming metal, but nothing too crazy overall. Oh, and I forgot about these. There's some default right here. Not exactly sure why they're back here. They're both Jonesy too. But there you go. So yeah, those are the changes to Tilted Towers. I thought they were pretty funny and interesting. But let's go ahead and move on to the next thing I want to talk about here, which is the secret star location for this week's challenges. The loading screen has been floating around on like Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that, which, as you guys know, they like to hide a clue for the week 5 loading screen challenges in those loading screens. So I thought I would go over it in this video. Now I am doing this separate from my week 5 challenges guide, which is coming up soon, but I wanted to kind of separate them since you have to, you know, complete all of the week 5 challenges, at least this week. Again, if you're new to the challenges or like the secret loading screen star and banner type challenges, specifically for this week's star to even show up on the map, you have to complete 5 total weeks of, you know, challenges. Now they can be any week, but if you're watching this video and only up to week 5 is available, then you're going to have to complete all week 5 challenges. So make sure to check out that video if you haven't yet. There will be a link down below in the description and also the pinned comment down below. But yeah, the loading screen star for this week. Now this one is a little bit confusing, and basically the loading screen shows this area right here, but nothing really sticks out. But I still have a couple ideas as to where this could be. So let's go ahead and jump back into game to show you where this is. Obviously I showed you like where the general, you know, area of it is, and as you can see, it is this area right around here, you know, on the south side of the volcano, right where all of the lava is flowing out of the volcano. So definitely, you know, an interesting area. This would be a, you know, perfect area to put a star in. So I think this makes sense. But if you go up here, my first idea as to where it could be is right on top of this rock. I mean, it would just make sense. You can't break it, and it's oddly, you know, sticking out here. And this is like the perfect spot for where a loading screen star could be. So this is the first place I would check. If it's not there, maybe it's behind it over there, or down here maybe on this side. Could also maybe be on that side over there, but that just seems to be like the spot that sticks out. And again, so yeah, that would make sense. On top of that, if for some reason it's not there, it could also be up on top of the volcano. That was something else that stuck out a little bit. So if we go up here, you know, maybe it would show up like right up here or around here specifically, you know, like right up here, maybe right over there maybe. But yeah, I would first of all check that spot down there, especially on that rock sticking out of the lava. That's where I think it would be. Now again, if for some reason it is not there or the location of it changes, simply check the pinned comment down below for updates. Again, I do think the star will be at one of those locations, but if for some reason it changes, check the pinned comment down below and I'll update you guys down there. After that then though, this next change has to do with traps, which is definitely something to be aware of. Now first of all, I do want to say that we don't know if this is like a purposeful change or maybe it's a bug. So, you know, it's up in the air. Could be a bug, could be a change on purpose. Don't exactly know at this moment, but either way, it's a change that is here right now. So basically, if you want to see this, you can simply go into like a creative match like you can see me doing right here. And basically the thing that got changed is how you would place traps in a situation where you either box somebody in that's above you or below you with a ramp, and obviously like the walls and stuff around it. But as you can see, like say somebody's above you on the ramp and you box them in, you can no longer place traps on the left or right because seemingly the ramp blocks you from placing that trap. Now essentially this makes it so you can't eliminate that person with a trap by placing it on these walls, and if you place it on, you know, the floor, it's not going to do anything. So yeah, that's definitely an interesting change. On top of that, it works the same way if you're on top of the ramp and somebody's below your ramp and you have them boxed in, you still can't place a trap on the left or right, making these trap kills really, you know, almost impossible. So yeah guys, there you go. Once more, again, don't know if that's on purpose, so who knows, we'll have to wait and see, but for sure I knew I had to tell you guys about that one. And then real quick after that, this one isn't very like a secret change, but it's still something that I wanted to go over because, you know, there's some secret details about like how exactly they work. And basically these are the new forageable items, and that means the banana, the pepper, and the coconut. So basically these are very similar to the apples and the shield mushrooms, but a couple of them actually work fairly differently. Now going over the first of which, starting off with the, you know, one that's pretty much similar to the apples, the banana. This is basically the apple, but except it's a banana and it shows up in the jungle biome, and it'll heal you for 5 5 health. Very simple, very straightforward. So nothing too crazy right there. Now after that, then it starts to get a lot more interesting because, like, for example, you have the coconuts. These can be found by damaging palm trees. That's right. So if you see a palm tree, you go up to it, you can damage it, and sometimes a coconut will drop down. But that's not the only thing about that. When you consume the coconut, what it does is it heals you 5 health or shield over time. So basically, if you are at 100 health, you will actually get shield instead of health, which is definitely pretty interesting. I love that they added all these crazy little items. They're a ton of fun for sure. And then for the final one that is probably the most interesting, the pepper. Now these can be found in the desert biome. So basically the Paradise Palms area of the map, you know, bottom right corner of the map, that is where you can find the peppers. Now I'm not exactly sure if these like spawn in specific spots, but basically as you can see like right here, when you pick them up, they heal you for 5 health, but they also give you a speed boost. Now this boost specifically increases your speed by 20% for 10 seconds. I almost said 10 minutes, but that would be insane. No, 10 seconds. And again, also it heals you for 5 health. So definitely pretty interesting right there. Leave a comment down below what you think about these. Which is your favorite, the pepper, the banana, or the coconut? I'm curious to see, or which do you think is the best? Which are you going to be looking for the most? So leave that comment down below. Also, if you haven't yet, hit that like button. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. So why not like the video if you're excited for all of this new update stuff? But that's not it. We got a couple other changes to go over, and these are some interesting map changes. Like this one right here, I think is probably the most interesting map change to me personally, because I think it could be pointing towards something, you know, pretty interesting happening over the next few updates or something like that. So basically, in order to see this, you want to go over to near the desert biome, near Paradise Palms. As you can see, it's actually more closer to that bridge that is outside of Paradise Palms, but it leads into the grassy area, so it's sort of at that like transition point between the biomes. But as you can see over here, there are a couple of trucks that have shown up, and like the first main one right here, it has a couple of excavators on it, as well as a porta potty, and then like the truck behind it simply has one porta potty, which is, you know, odd. But what that clearly seems to imply is that they're going to be doing some construction on this area right here, which also seems to imply that they're going to be building something here. On top of that, if you take a look at the area that they're on, it is very, very flat, which could be the perfect spot for a building to be placed. But again, what type of building would be placed here, we don't know yet, but for sure it seems pretty exciting. And I mean, there's a decent area here, so it could be a decently big building. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up. But then for the final change I wanted to go over in this video, this actually has to do with the Der Burger and Pizza Pit battle. I sort of thought it was over since they both got their restaurants again. As you guys remember, they had the whole food truck thing and like the whole thing with the restaurants themselves, but it is not over. If you go over to Retail Row and take a look at the Der Burger restaurant, you can see that it's actually expanded. It now has an entirely new second floor. Now there may be a couple of other changes to like the first floor itself. I can't exactly remember how it was before and how it compares to now, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that the second floor is brand new. So yeah, apparently this battle between the Der Burger and the Pizza Pit is still going on, which is definitely pretty interesting. That was always a funny thing to cover in the previous updates, so I'm excited that they brought that back a bit. And yeah, you may want to check this out if you're over at Retail Row. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more update news videos and also challenge guides. On top of that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, some update news and stuff like that. And then on the right, my most recent video will be put up there. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.